Yuba-Sutter.live's local government live streams are presented by Plumas Lake Self-Storage in Plumas Lake, where lifelong local residents are helping other residents keep things safe, providing indoor storage units, outdoor RV and vehicle parking, moving supplies, and Penske truck rentals. Details at plumaslakeselfstorage.com.
Pledge. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Are there okay. And there's nothing else to report from closed session. Sorry, I guess I should have done it then. William Zach.
We have to report quarterly any complaints based on the Williams balance with a uniform complaint procedures. And for the quarter ending in June, we've had no complaints for the last quarter.
Thank you. Are there any comments from the public on items not on the agenda?
No, there are not.
Okay, thank you, Laura. Consent agenda. Can I get a motion to approve with the exception of E and H?
So moved.
Second. Okay, on a motion by member Pretty and a second by member Lamb, all those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Hearing none, motion carries. Can I get a motion on 10E?
I make a motion to approve 10E.
Second.
On a motion by member Orozco and a second by member Ciola. All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Any abstentions? Okay, member Lamb abstains, but otherwise motion carries. And then 10H, can I get a motion?
I move that we approve H.
Second. Okay, on a motion by member Pretty and a second by member Ciola, all those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Any abstentions?
Abstain.
Okay, member Roscoe abstains from that one, but motion carries. All right.
Approve as discussed in closed session.
I second the motion.
Okay, on a motion by member Pretty, second by member Quilty, all those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Hearing none, motion carries. B, workplace violence prevention plan for YCSD.
New Senate Bill 553 requires employers to develop a workplace violence prevention plan. UC Unified School District Director Cutts, working with the school site safety committees, has developed a workplace violence prevention plan based on the template provided by the CDE, and we seek approval of the workplace violence prevention plan. And Director Cutts is here. Do you have any questions?
Any questions? Okay, motion.
I move that we approve.
Okay, on a motion by member Pretty, second by member. After school program.
A Level Expanded Learning After School program is a program we use for our intercession and for after schools. It's peer-to-peer sports peer mentorship. We've used them the last 2 years. So staff seeks approval for continuing to use that program for our after school and our intercession programs.
Question about that.
Yeah.
Are we expanding it to be more inclusive of other, because I know there's a finite number of spots. So have we increased the number of spots available?
It is open. We have it pretty expanded. We're not currently using it this year for remember last year we used it for recess.
Mm-hmm.
Due to just looking at our budget and looking at being financially more true, we decided not to use it for recess.
Okay.
But we're going to continue using the same program for after school and intercession, and it is open enrollment. School sites and all the after school sites for K, yeah.
Okay.
We got a motion? Motion we approve?
Second.
On a motion by member Sucio, second by member Quilty, all those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Hearing none, motion carries. D, non-public school contracts for 24-25.
Throughout the school year, we contract with different agencies, non-public school contracts, to provide special education services for students on IEPs. And this is seeking approval for those for Cinnamon Hills non-public school agency, Cadient, Point Quest, and Sierra School of Sacramento, and Sierra Fiddles Academy.
Any questions? Can I get a motion?
I'll make a motion to approve.
I'll second.
On a motion by member Lamb, second by member Roscoe, all those in favor?
Aye.
Excuse me, any opposed? No, hearing none, motion carries. A, E, Eaton Interpreting Services.
I'm on for a bit here. We use Eden for students on individual education plans who need who are DHH that are here to receive interpreting services. So we seek approval to use Eden services to provide those interpreting services.
That are employees of our district.
So hard to get.
It's really
deaf and hard
hard to
hearing.
get.
It was so hard,
Yeah,
because we had a student who needed that.
Okay,
It's very hard to find someone.
I just,
Yeah.
maybe we had our own people.
that would be our preference. It's just like DHH teachers, they're really, really, really hard to find. There's limited programs to get the credentials. And it's almost the same with the interpreters. They usually go through agencies, so they get more work.
Isn't it like a low instance too? Overall, DHH, deaf and hard of hearing, is low instance. Okay. Any other questions? Sorry to interrupt, Sean.
Yeah, that was it.
Okay. Can I get a motion?
Make a motion for.
Second. A motion by member Lamb, second by member Sucio, all those in favor? Any opposed? Hearing none, motion carries. Epic, special education staffing.
Continuing with staffing, when we post for positions and we are unable to fill those positions, we do look for services. So for this specific service, we're looking for a school nurse, a special education teacher, a occupational therapist, and a CELPA. And so this special education staffing, we do have them posted. And if we do find services through EdJoin and through the employment process, then we'll stop the contract and go through our own employees.
What is a certified occupational therapy assistant?
That's like an assistant.
It's like an assistant to our,
Yes, so they have specialized training, they're not credentialed to be an occupational therapist, but they have a certificate.
skills, like kids are like,
What do they, so why do we have one in, I'm sorry, I feel like a ditch, but help me out, what do we?
so
what-
for
Why do we have that in a school?
So for a student, for example, let's say they have a specific disability and they need some work on like movement in their seat. And so they might work with students on like how to have different types of movement. They might provide them different types of furniture and different services to help them as part of their IEP, as part of their
Education related services within the school system, they're not providing the medical model as much as they're providing students to be able to access their educational programs. So occupational therapists will often work on fine motor skills to help with their writing and those types of skills. So it traditionally was a medical model, but these are educational related services, so they have to tie in based in order to provide those services.
Thank you.
I'm sorry, Tina, can you repeat the services or the staffing?
we go to.
One was a CODA.
One was
It's
a
on page
school
4.
nurse, occupational therapist, assistant, special education teacher. And
Speech and language.
speech and language pathologist.
Assistant.
Yeah, slipper.
I move that we approve.
Second.
Okay, on a motion by member Brady, second by member Sucio, all those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Hearing none, motion carries. G, Salient Health LLC.
Light Health, continuing with helping with our staffing would be helping with our SLIPA assistants through Light Health. So 2 speech and language pathologist assistants to provide speech and language services to district students.
So that's different than Epic?
Yes.
So 2 different
Yeah, and this is the last resort we want to go to is going through outside agencies, but when it gets to the point of where we're at now, staffing on in late July, we kind of move forward. Make sure our kids are taken care of with staff.
And it might be that they come in and they find virtual, and that's like probably where we will probably end up as a district, right, with some of these agencies, could be a possibility.
It could be a possibility, we hope not. Ideally, you want to have in-person services to meet the needs of kids.
generally the SLPA would be in person. There might be a need for SLPs through a virtual model. But usually the SLPAs will be in person.
Oh, okay, cool. And we can't like work with Chico State or Sac State?
We continue to work with them. I sit on a trying to get speech therapists. They have reduced the number of applicants that they're accepting to master's program, and that's part of the challenge. Graduate students entering the programs.
Wow. Fantastic. Okay, sorry, somebody made a motion. Did anyone make a motion? Sorry.
I make a motion to approve.
Second.
Okay, on a motion by member Sealsfield, second by member Lamb, all those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Hearing none, motion carries. H, Aries Software.
Aries Software is our student information system, which houses all of our student information, all of our data, enrollment, schedules. And this is a year-long contract expired, so we're seeking approval for the new contract for the 24-25 school year.
Any questions?
I just have one question about it, sorry. I'm like lady question tonight. I know that there have been times when, like on the attendance roster, a student who's had some difficulties is kind of flagged with an asterisk or whatever. So you can look and see, okay. I know for a long time, teachers have asked for more specified information. Like if I'm teaching my class, I'm looking at the roster and I see this kid has an asterisk. I don't really care if they had a cell phone violation when they were in 6th grade and now they're in 11th. But I was just wondering if there's any way areas can be fine-tuned so that like if there's a student who has like a trigger or something that I need to be aware of, that has a specific, so I know to pay really good attention to that.
So
Otherwise, just a generic asterisk for everything from, I don't know, was chewing gum when told not to started a violent fight has the same symbol. It's of no real.
So they've updated a little. So when you go to areas on the top right-hand side, they have flags. And typically when they typically flag students for, let's say, for example, there's a custody order, something that's really important that we have to know as the guardian.
You can't allow that child to go home with somebody else.
And they have program flags, so it'll flag kids who are homeless, foster, EL, special education, and so that gives the teacher or the office easy access to know that kid has an IEP.
Right.
And so anything with like chewing gum or, you know, the kid had his cell phone out, that won't actually be up there. That'll be down in a certain disciplinary discipline.
But next to the name, what should I say about next to the name before old school, it used to be SSA?
I'm not talking about looking at each kid individually. I'm talking about looking at my roster and seeing an asterisk.
I don't think the asterisk.
Like
They-
32 kids and
Anything.
18 of
No,
them
you
have an
click it,
asterisk.
and it takes you to, when you click that thing, it takes you to.
Get back to you on that. I just want to make sure I get it right.
Notification.
It just would be nice if, you know.
terms of can it be refined?
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, that was my question, just Doreen put it better than I did thinking.
I know what you're.
It's done for 16 years.
A long time.
As long as I've worked in the school district.
So because I'm curious about whoever negotiated this contract. It's almost like we're being punished for being with them so long. Because you see the line item where it says 16 areas database maintenance per additional year, right? So we have to pay $4,000 because we're returning customers. Doesn't make any fiscal sense on. But it's still a contract. I'm just curious why they would punish us in a way for being returning customers. But anyway, that's all.
I can look into that. Talk to Rob about that, about our contract negotiation on that.
There's one other question that we were ready for the motion.
A motion we approve?
I'll second the motion.
Okay, on the motion by member Seula, second by member Cofield, all those in favor?
Aye.
Excuse me, I'm doing it again. Any opposed? Hearing none, motion carries. I, approval of facility use fee structure.
I'm going to request that we pull item I, the approval until, because it relates to the board policies, and until the board adopts the policies that are being read for the first read, we're gonna delay the bringing for the facility use structure. Okay. Because the policies will need to be approved first, and then the fee structure presented.
Okay, are there any, there's no objections? I don't think. Okay, 11I will be pulled. 11J, approval of precision private security services.
This is our annual contract for our private security for our school site, so they basically keep watch on our facilities in the evenings and on the weekends.
I just have one comment. I know that, you know, a while back, we had okay. I know I've reached out to you, Doreen, about this, and I don't know if Precision can assist with this or what, because you kind of have to be at the right place at the right time.
would be like a religious exclusion.
There are opportunities, so parents, there are notification systems that parents can write and state that their reasons for. This actually has a form, I believe.
Yeah, it's a form.
It's a form that goes to parents cite that they don't want their student to participate and they sign.
But that's what sex ed, right? This is the exclusion pursuant, saying parents can't opt out of that, which if my student was in there, there are a couple of these that religiously we would wish to be exempt from, that you say, we can't be exempt, we can't write and say, hey, I don't want my kid in a classroom when you are discussing these things, because it is against our religion. So, but it says in this code, 51-932, we aren't able to do that as parents, to excuse our children from those. We can opt out of sex ed, that I totally, I get, like, yes, but then it has the like, however, and that in addition to AB 1955, that was recently signed into law. Like, I have a lot of parents that are extremely concerned that their kids are going to a school in a place where they say, don't tell your parents, right? Because we know predators say that. That's like, keep it a secret from your parents is always the thing, which I know, like, that's not what we're going for. But now it's like, okay, but now we can discuss all of these things and you can't opt out of it. And this is yet another barrier. So I'm asking so the public knows, are there venues, are there ways that they can say, hey, this is against my religion?
So what I will do for the next board meeting, we'll pull the different, because you're bringing up a policy that's not, you're talking about a different policy right now. So I want to do a comparison, and I want to be able to provide you the information regarding how parents are able to opt out based on religious beliefs on certain topics. So
But not these topics, because I'm not bringing up a separate policy. I'm just looking at this one. It says pursuant to Education Code 51932, such parental request shall not excuse a student from instruction. Are you just saying
6142.8?
6-1?
She's looking
42.8.
The red.
Oh,
right,
sorry.
Page 57?
Right, I heard a different policy, that's why I was confused, so
Oh.
sorry.
No, because the only thing is, like, they're saying that opt-out doesn't opt them out of all of this, but they still could write a letter and say, due to our family's religion, we choose, we would like to be notified. Should you wish to discuss gender identity, gender expression, sexual orientation, and discrimination, or whatever, please notify me and I will make sure my student does not attend class that day.
Well, so I want to pull the policy related to religious beliefs, because I want to make sure that there's an alignment there. So I hear what you're saying based upon religious beliefs. So let me pull that policy, because there is a policy related to that, and then let me do a comparison, and then I will report back to you.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, if you guys have any other questions or comments, just email superintendent between now and the next board meeting. Hey, and the employment contract for assistant superintendent of ed services.
Thank you. I bring forward for board approval based upon the Assistant Superintendent of Educational Services contract, based upon evaluation progressing acceptably, that there would be an advancement by one to Assistant Superintendent Guzman's contract, and the financial impact is listed below.
Any questions? Can we get a motion?
I have a motion, we approve?
Second.
Okay, on a motion by member Susila, second by member Lamb, all those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Hearing none, motion carries.
You're taking this.
And employment contract for assistant superintendent. This is-
Well, we're
Thank you.
breaking
So Assistant Superintendent of Business Services is a classified position. Assistant Superintendent Bentley is already at step 5, and so based upon the contract, would advance based upon, or would receive a salary increase based upon the classified bargaining unit settlement that has not been settled for the 24-25 school year, and so when that does occur, there would be adjustment to the salary schedule.
Okay, any questions? I have a question. So depending on who's part of that negotiation, would would Scott have to abstain?
No, he would not. No, I checked into that in terms of legal, because Scott is part of the bargaining team, bargaining for an entire group, not himself, so there is no conflict of interest.
Okay, any questions? Motion,
I make a motion to approve.
Second.
okay, on the motion by member Lamb, second by member Cecile. All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Hearing none, motion carries. Employment contract of superintendent.
Okay, I get to take this one. So, superintendent received a satisfactory evaluation from the board for 23-24. Pursuant to the agreement, section 3D, this would entitle the superintendent to a 3.5% salary increase for the 24-25 school year.
Any question? No. Any motion? Opposed? Hearing none, motion carries. Board reports, information, discussion. Anybody's not yet.
I went to Twinner's Charter Schools board meeting, and they appreciate we have their involvement. They appreciate that. Fiscally sound and ADA stay strong.
Thank you.
That's about it.
Thank you. Communications from the public? No? Okay. Miss Dina. Great.
Good evening, board members, anyone out in the audience, and staff. I'm Dina Lukens, President of the Yuba City Teachers Association. I'd like to address a couple of items on tonight's board agenda. Tonight, you took action to hire a special education teacher as a contract. On the YCTA certificated salary schedule is $91 an hour. Countless hours overtime, especially your special education. They conduct no less than 28 IEPs a year, assuming that they carry a caseload of 28 and that each student has an annual IEP. Many of your special education teachers carry a caseload above 28. They deliver services to more than 28 students. Those IEPs are frequently over an hour long. Those are after hours. Your YCTA special education teachers do not submit overtime. And yet the district has resorted to having to hire a contracted special education teacher. I recognize the need and the competitive nature of hiring employees in this time, but I think we need to do better. In addition to that, you will hire a SLPA, a special a speech and language pathologist assistant, and pay that person $78 per hour. And they will be paid again for every hour as well as overtime. For a speech and language pathologist who will be asked to supervise that SLPA to be paid EA plus 7 potential educators at Yuba City Unified. I recognize it's a competitive world out there. We need to compete better. Tonight's board agenda, you hired 9 teachers with provision, with some version of an emergency credential. Again, this is a reflection of a competitive job market. I am simply asking that we need to do better. We want employees that are Yuba City Unified employees. We want them to be fully credentialed. We want them to be committed to Yuba City Unified and staying in Yuba City Unified. I acknowledge tonight your salary increases to the superintendent and the assistant superintendent of ed services. I think we are lucky to have Tino Guzman here in Yuba City Unified. I'm excited by the professional development program that will happen on August 9th. I appreciate this board's generosity in that salary increase, as it is critical that we maintain employees such as Tino in his position. I think the same is true of our superintendent, who received a 3.5% salary increase this year. What Doreen brings to this district committed to. Doreen is a Yuba City employees at Yuba City Unified. So I thank Doreen for her continued
Yuba-Sutter.live's local government live streams are presented by Plumas Lake Self-Storage in Plumas Lake, where lifelong local residents are helping other residents keep things safe, providing indoor storage units, outdoor RV and vehicle parking, moving supplies, and Penske truck rentals. Details at plumaslakeselfstorage.com.
Hi, I'm Neil Goforth of Comfort Keepers of Yuba, Sutter, and Nevada counties. Caring for elders or even yourself has challenges. Comfort Keepers of Yuba, Sutter, and Nevada counties can help you address today's issues and plan for tomorrow with in-home and specialized care for you or your family members. Call us at 530-749-8800. Comfort Keepers of Yuba, Sutter, and Nevada counties.